This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now, your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 99, Timothy Dalton's debut as 007. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa, and my co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
That's it. We are starting the 2 Bond films. We're going to be doing The Living Daylights and then License to Kill next week. But, Nate, how long? Actually, this is your first time, right?
It's been my whole life since I've seen this movie. Never saw it. This is my first time. So from starting now until we watch all the Bonds, the rest of them are first time watch. I've only ever seen Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig so far. So these are the rest of the way. When we get to Roger Moore, all first time. When we get to Connery, all first time. When we get to that one George Lazenby one, first time. I haven't seen none of them.
Actually, that's pretty cool, though, because now we're going to get a fresh perspective from you. You're a very nitpicky guy, so I want to see what happens with all these 60s and 50s and 70s.
It might be cool. It might not be cool.
Exactly. For me, Living Daylights, this is like the third time watching for me. So this is actually pretty cool. We're sitting down and revisiting. But for those of you out there that are checking us out for the first time, we added a new category for the Bonds. We have the opening title sequence, which we rate the movie and the graphics behind it. And then we're going to go right into some box office numbers, Rotten Tomatoes, right into the movie reviews. But with that said, let's get right into some box office numbers of The Living Daylights from 1987, starting with domestic.
Same as me. This came out the year I was born, 1987.
There you go. Domestic, $51 million. International, $362. $362 for a worldwide total of $51 million.
What do you mean, $362? That can't be right.
That's what I'm reading right now.
I mean, that can't be right, though. Maybe they didn't keep track of it. Or something very well, because there's no way that this only sold like 100 tickets. There's absolutely no way.
That's what I got. Opening was 11 million. But I mean, what do you think from these numbers? You're absolutely right. I don't know if these international numbers are right, but from domestic is 51. But with that said,
don't blame us. The internet failed us. The internet says it made 362 or whatever. It's probably wrong. 50. We'll just go with what we have. 50 million US. I think that's okay. I mean, it's low, but for 87, it's probably over 100 million in current money. So, Bond, they hover in those 100 million range in America a lot of times. So seems on par as far as the US.
Yeah. I mean, look, with that said, let's check out what the critics and the audience have to say about 007.
Yeah, so this was the first ever Timothy Dalton 007, and this has a critic score of 74%, so mostly positive. Certified fresh audience score, 66%. So a little bit lower, but still over that 60% threshold. In general, people liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting, right? 74, Daniel Craig started at 90, right? With Casino Royale was in the 90?
94.
Yeah, and then GoldenEye was in the 90s also, right?
Yeah, GoldenEye was pretty high.
Yeah, so it was high. So far, the debuts are kind of fresh. Certified fresh. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so with that said, we're going to get right into the opening title sequence, which is the new category. Now, this time, the song is from Aha, which if you guys know the artist, they're the ones who sing Take On Me, Take On Me with The Living Daylights. I think that was the name of the song, The Living Daylights was the name of the song. So, Nate, what do you think of the opening title sequence?
By the way, GoldenEye, 79%. So this is probably more on par with Brosnan's first one. All right. I like the song. I think the song's pretty good. Very 80s. I mean, obviously, Aha, band from the 80s. Very 80s song, but I dug it. I was like, okay, this is a cool little song. It's the kind of song that I could listen to outside of the movie kind of song. You know how some of them, they're like that, and then some of them, it's like, this only works while you're watching this movie right now. This would be more in line with, and I didn't love that song, but like Madonna's song for Die Another Day, that could play on the radio. Skyfall, that play on the radio. This could play on the radio, to be honest with you. As far as the credits, I don't know if, maybe just because I've been spoiled and the only ones I've seen have really cool, effects and CG credits. But this was just people walking around in lights. You know what I mean? It was just shadows and lights. some naked women. Nothing really to it. It didn't really like, compared to the new ones, it's not as cool. Now, if I have to turn on my brain and be like, okay, maybe this was how they were back then, and the more I see, it'll be different. I was not impressed, but I liked the song. I thought the song was pretty good.
What you gave it?
Oh, I'll give the whole thing like a 3 because the opening credits overall wasn't that great.
Yeah, look, so for myself, I did not like the song. I was like, oh, what the hell? The song was weird. That actual title sequence of, I did not know what the hell. It was like like neon 007 dots coming out of a gun. It was like so low budget 80s music video. Again, we're starting to go into eras that music videos are not highly produced like where we're up to now.
Right.
But I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, but the song was not good at all. It was just a weird song. I gave it a 2. I was just like, not memorable.
I like the song. It was like this. I was like, I could dance to this song. It's pretty good. Now that you're saying the thing, it reminded me. There's one hilarious scene, and I wish I knew exactly where so I could tell you, like, put your DVD back or Blu-ray back in and like pause it here. The girl is pointing a gun like this. She's just like, she's just like this little tiny shot.
Yeah.
And I started laughing. And like, you know how like in Casino Royale, the gun shoots and like the things come out and she just goes like, it barely moves. Like no kickback and barely a little flash. It was so funny. But you're right. It was kind of weird.
Yeah. I gave it a 2. Nate gave it a 3. All right. So let's start off with the lead character, James Bond, Timothy Dalton.
Okay. So this is my first time seeing anyone other than Pierce Brosnan or Daniel Craig. I'll be honest. I didn't love him that much. Now, I don't know about the next movie. I think the next one's the one I'm more excited for. Because not just you, but I've also heard another review somewhere else a while ago that, kind of praised it. So, but for this movie, I did not love Timothy Dalton. I'll be honest. He looks old to me. I don't know what it is. I don't know how old he was. I don't think he was super old. But if he was like, let's say, Pierce Brosnan's age, he looked older than Pierce Brosnan did. And not only that, he's missing that. He's not suave. He doesn't have that. I think Brosnan had the most, well, from what I've seen so far, he was the most suave. He had that part of James Bond perfect. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I believe every woman would love this man if he came and talked to them. Craig, not as much, but he grows on you when he starts talking and then you're like, I see it. I did not see it with Timothy Dalton. Personally, I didn't see it. I'm just like, nope, he's not debonair. He's not suave. He's not dashing. He's just, I do think he was good in the action parts. I believe that. I believe he could be that, and a federal agent or spy or whatever he is, So it's half and half. I was missing one part for me. I didn't love him. I gave him a 3. I just thought he was okay, to be honest. Again, this is my first, pinch of Dalton, but wasn't impressed as I thought I was going to be.
Yeah, it's funny with Timothy Dalton. It was weird because when I was watching him, I was like, okay, now I got to figure this out with this character. And this one he was more of a serious Bond. Like, I mean, this script is serious. There was no charm. There was no, like, Jay put on the thing on our screen, swagger. That, like, to me, they didn't have none of that. This one was swag. A straight series. Like, they were going with a different direction from Roger Moore. Because remember, Roger Moore played him, I believe Roger Moore, then Timothy Dalton. So you got all that campy and all this stuff. So they were trying to go into another way of shooting Bond. And I was like, okay, did this work? Yes and no. I felt like Timothy Dalton was a stage actor, and you could tell, right? Like he has that voice, like Picard, like Patrick Stewart. Like they have a Broadway voice to them. So like I'm like, is this really Bond? Some scenes, I agree with you. I felt like, okay, he is Bond, but when he's with the women, I did not believe that. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this dude is not suave, but again, he was angry for some reason. Like he was just very angry.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand they killed 009 or whoever the hell when they were training, but it was just weird. And I agree. I gave him a 4 because I kind of digged him. I was like, okay, he made his own spin to the character. It wasn't the typical other Bonds before, not the Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig. I'm talking about the Roger Moore, George LeBiz, and Sean Connery. So it was like a different take of Bond. So I gave him a 4 for the benefit of the doubt. All right, main villain.
I mean, it was a guy. He was there. He was a traitor. He was a traitor of Russia. He was trying to be a defector, and he did there was like a double, triple cross situation here where he's pretending to be a defector, but he's like defecting against Russia, but then he's actually defecting against MI6, as well. And then he's doing like an arms deal thing and money. And I didn't like him. He didn't do much for me. Personally, I think he was just, I don't know. And I know there was also, I thought, so when I was watching it, I thought the guy from Indiana Jones was going to be the main, John Rhys Davies. I thought he was going to be the main villain, Turns out he's not, he's not a great guy, but he's not like the villain. It's the guy who's doing all that. He's just hiding most of the time. You know what I mean? And then the henchman was, I guess, better. The blonde guy who does like all the action stuff and the fighting and when he had the exploding milk, I couldn't stop laughing. Yeah. For a movie that is like supposed to be serious, this man had exploding milk glasses, and I laughed. I was cracking up, especially the way he throws it. He stops. He like throws it underhand. Boom! The milk blows up. It was hilarious. He was okay. I wasn't feeling him. I didn't like him. I only gave him a 2. I didn't think he was a very good. Especially, again, this is only my 10th Bond movie because I saw 5 and 4. 10th one, he's on the lower of the 10. He's probably 9th. I still think he's better than Dominic Green, and maybe better than the news guy, the old guy from Tomorrow Never Dies.
Carver?
So maybe he's like, he's like a broadcast news villain. He's down there for me too.
Yeah, in terms of, so his name is the villain is called Georgy Koskov.
Koskov, yeah.
So you're right. He tried to play 007 and he did, which I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. But remember, there was like a lot of more villains in this. You had Brad Wiltaker. He's the one, the arms dealer.
Don Baker.
But fun fact, that actor, John Don Baker, came back for GoldenEye and he played Wade. Remember? He was the one that Pierce Brosnan was like, show me the tattoo.
Yes, that's why I thought he was the same guy, but it's not.
No, it's not. It's he came back into the 007 world in the new character. But but anyway, Georgie, because that's the one who I'm scoring, he was okay. He played it. I thought his whole flipping was okay. He didn't fight 007. So I was just like, okay, he didn't get to fight him, but he was all right. I wasn't too crazy. I gave him a 3 because I was just like, all right, he flipped the script and he wasn't a lot of scenes. It's not like he wasn't. And then he got caught at the end and I looked like they torched him or killed him. But other than that, I gave him a 3. He wasn't as good of and I agree with you. I think I would put him under, Dominic Green is still the worst villain right now. He's the worst. But I agree. Action sequence.
Well, this is probably the best part of the whole movie, in my opinion. The action scenes are really good. Now, we've 99 episodes into this show. You guys already know. Like 80s action is not my favorite action, but this is good 80s action. There's good 80s action, and there's like the really more just I don't really like it. And the reason I don't love it is typically because of on the technical scale, I just don't find it, it's usually not very well shot. It's pretty basic. It's like blow some stuff up and we'll shoot some guns. And this movie does that, but there's some really good stunts in this movie. There's a lot of, there's no CGI back then really. So they did visual effects, but mostly it's just stuff exploding. When the guy throws the milk, something got to blow up, right? So they got some explosions. You got the scene in the desert. There's like big explosion there. The opening, I didn't love the cold open, to be honest. I thought it was kind of, I won't say it was stupid. It didn't do much for me, but it was it looked nice. It was filmed well. And it was pretty funny when he was coming down with the parachute and the lady's like, why won't a real man show up? And then he lands on the thing. That was pretty funny. But yeah, I liked the action. I thought the action was good. I found those scenes to be most entertaining. I also thought it was hilarious at the beginning where they're at the opera and he's going to like shoot the sniper. And that guy pulls out that gun that is like the size of a horse. It's like the biggest gun I've ever seen in my life, but it was pointless because he just shoots that other gun with it. I'm like, this thing could like blow someone's head off. Anyway, I gave it a 4. I thought the action was good. I don't throw 5s out very often. So 4, it was very good.
Yeah. For me, I didn't dig much as the action. I didn't think this movie had much action, to be honest with you, besides the explosions. But other than that, if you really look at it, you had the Aston Martin car chase, which I thought was amazing. I thought they did that very well. The mist again.
And they're in the snow.
Yeah, the snow is awesome. And that's the bread and butter of when we start to get into these old James Bond movies are the car gadgets, the missiles coming out and doing all this stuff of this outrageous stuff. And I love it. And when I saw the missiles and I was like, this is why I love
the little laser. shoots out the tire.
It's amazing. I was like, this is typical Bond. And I love those scenes. Those were cool scenes. I love him taking the cello case and they're sliding through the ice. I thought that was so funny. I was like, yeah, right. Yeah. And he has the whole cello holding it and hitting him.
Show your passport.
Yeah.
Passport.
Yeah, that was so corny. Then you had the fight in the air, which I was like, first of all, the girl opened the cargo by why I don't know. She opened the door and then she pulls on the plane to go up, and then she sends her. I was like, this was just, it was really poorly. That was poor, but that scene was okay. It wasn't as good, right? I gave it a 3.5. I enjoyed the action, but to me it wasn't action for me to warrant it a 4. I mean, hey, to you did, but yeah. Okay, storyline.
No, I didn't really like it. So first of all, the beginning part, it was confusing. I found it confusing. I was like, I don't know how this beginning part ties to what's going on. I don't know. I feel like everything I've watched so far does a better job of setting up whatever's going to happen in the rest of the movie in those early scenes. And I don't think this movie did. It was a little convoluted for me. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of the spy genre because I tend to find them a little confusing. They get a little too cute for their own good, right? Like, who's good? Who's bad? Everyone's good. Everyone's bad. You don't know this. You don't know this. I don't know who's good. I don't know if it's a double cross. I don't know if it's a triple cross. I don't know if the milkman is a good guy. I don't know if the milk... And it gets to be like, okay, like, can we just know who... I'm the type who likes to know who's on the chessboard. Like, who's this and who's this? Sure, you could have a twist. You know, you could have someone revealed to be the other way, but it has to be done well. And this movie just, I don't know. I couldn't get into it. Honestly, I had to pause it like 2 or 3 times to like get up and get a snack and like stretch. It felt long. It felt way longer than the 2 hours and 10 minutes that it was. And you're right. I gave the action a 4, but there's not a ton of action. There's a lot of talking. And I don't know. And because I didn't love Bond, and I gave it a 2. I wasn't really into the story that much.
Yeah, you know, in terms of the story, I thought the story was good. It wasn't great and it wasn't perfect, but I thought it was a typical Bond storyline, right? Like someone's going to double cross MI6, which you saw. You got the whole, you know, opium deal. So they're trying to sell diamonds to get opium. And, you know, this guy is trying to play both sides. So this is very 007, but I think it didn't come across very well. You're absolutely right. It was way too much going on. I think it's a good storyline if it was executed right. I think if it was done right.
Yeah, I could see that.
But for right now, I think it was a pretty much of a mess of a movie in terms of pacing. Because I was like, okay, we went from here to there, back to here, and then there she's a cello person and not a cello person.
She's an assassin, but she's just a girlfriend. Like, what the heck is going on?
And then she's like, you with Georgie? And he's like, yeah, I'm with Georgie. And then all of a sudden, no, I'm not with Georgie. I work for MI6. And I'm like, what is going on here? It was weird. I thought it was all over the place. I gave it a 3. Because I was like, you know what? They had something here that if it was actually flushed out really well, I think it actually could have been an actually really good Bond movie if it's actually worked very well. So I give it a 3. Your overall.
So I didn't love this movie. I'm going to be honest. I did not love this movie. I won't say I'm surprised because I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you. But I didn't really dig it. And most of my score is mostly tied to the storyline and the pacing, like you said. Like, it just was not... This same story done by a different director, it could have been very good. Yeah. Solid and, you know, moved. It did not have to be 2 hours and 10 minutes. I didn't really like all the stuff in the desert when they go to like Afghanistan or wherever it is. I'm like, why are we here? Like, first of all, it's kind of weird how they ended up there. And then they're just there for like too long. And then they make friends with the guy who looks like the guy from True Lies.
It's him.
Maybe it is. Oh, it is him. Okay. Yeah. I knew it. See, I knew it. I was like, this is True Lies. And I was like, he's a bad guy. Don't be friends with him. And he was nice in this movie and it was weird. And they're riding horses. And I'm like, oh God, hurry up, get it. I don't know. Dalton was okay for me on first attempt. But now I'm concerned because he only did 2. And I'm wondering if he's anything like this in the second one, I'll say I know why he only did 2. Now, if he's amazing, and then I'll be upset that he only did 2. So we'll see how it goes. For this one, my overall is only a 2. This wasn't my cup of tea.
My overall for this, I thought the action sequences, I thought they were good. I think they needed a little bit more action sequences, but what we got, I guess it is what it is. I love the gadgets, but the gadgets I thought worked well. I thought the Timothy Dalton as Bond, I'm a little shaky because it's been a while since I remember License to Kill. Okay, I to me that was my favorite of the 2, but I got to now watching this one. I'm like, okay, I got to now revisit and see what happens. But it was a weird script. That's what I gotta say. The storyline was weird. I thought it was messy at times. It was stretchy at times. You're absolutely right. That scene of them going into the jail cell, and then they break out of the jail cell when he's whistling, and then the smoke comes out. What is this gadget? Like, out of all the gadgets, that's one of the worst gadgets.
Him a little Radio Shack keychain with a radio on it.
Yeah, that was so horrible. I gave it a 3.5 as an overall, because I was like, you know what? We got a lot more movies to go before we rate these things. But I think this was a good film. I gave it 3.5 for good. I think the action was good. Some parts of the script was very well. Some of the actors were good. Like you said, the guy Sala, that from Indiana Jones, he was really good. I thought the guy who the Brad Wiltaker, the guy who plays the arms dealer, was really good. When at the end when he fought Bond, awesome scene. I thought that was an awesome scene.
Don't get me wrong, I don't think Dalton was he was a good actor. I don't know, the portrayal of Bond in this was what I didn't love.
It was weird. It was a weird script, but I mean, I gave it a 3.5.
I didn't like the main girl either, though. I didn't like.
She was horrible. Total points.
Total points. So total points for me, 13 out of a 25, a little over half. You know, it was, I'm glad I saw it. I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it. Probably Quantum of Solace, they're very different, but my scores are similar to what I gave that movie. A lot of issues, pretty fun action. You know, if Dalton is like this in License to Kill, like, you know what I wish? If he would just straight up, like, every time girls look at him, he's just like, screw you, I hate you. Then he wouldn't need to be the dashing type, but he still ends up with these girls, but he has no, like, charm, which is weird. So if they would have made him, like, not even worried about, like, change the character in that way, I'd give him a 4. But we'll see how it goes. 13 out of 25.
For me, it's a flat 17. Let's see, 3.5, 3, 4. Yeah, it's a 17, straight 17. I thought it was, for an entry movie, I thought it was a good entry. Again, script wise, it was but it was good for what it was. Again,
compared to GoldenEye or Casino Royale,
it's not as good. Yeah, it's not. Those are way better. Again, script. It all comes down to script writing. If the script is good, doesn't matter who's 007, as long as they have a good script and story to tell.
Very good point.
You'll be really good there. So, with that said, Nate, you know what to do.
All right. So that is the first of our 2 coming up of our Timothy Dalton James Bond films. Next episode, you will be hearing us continuing on with our terrible action movies review. Now, well, terribly reviewed, because we don't know, they might be good. That's going to be The Last Witch Hunter, starring Vin Diesel. And then next week, we will continue on with our second of 2 Dalton films, which is License to Kill. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm still looking forward to it. This is not the kind of movie that made me not look forward to it, but I just didn't love it.
Yeah, and you know what's pretty cool? Felix Leiter was in this. So I was like, oh.
Well, yeah, he was on the boat. Yeah.
So
that's right.
It's
he was there with the ladies. They drove him to the boat. Yeah.
So look, with that said, guys, if you want to follow us on our social media accounts, please follow Nate over on Instagram at Netflix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews. Anything Action Movie Guys Podcast, please follow us on Instagram at Action Movie Guys Podcast or Levels of Geeks on Instagram. And of course, if you guys are watching us on YouTube, please hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit those notification bells so every time reviews drop, you guys will be notified. Or once we start going live November 1st at 9 p.m. Eastern, you guys will know when we go on. And of course, support the channel by hitting the subscribe buttons. Other than that, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa, and my co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
Be awesome to each other and geek out.